Good afternoon and welcome back to Carlton Cornwall Bowling Club in Auckland as we're about to start in the first of our finals at the Summerset National Singles and Pairs. It is the women's singles final between Mandy Boyd of Elmwood Park and Nicole Toomey of Victoria. Mandy Boyd looking for her 8th national title, but first in the singles. Nicole Toomey looking for her maiden national title. Brenton Vinisroy alongside Kevin Hickland as we will bring you the commentary of this women's singles final as we are underway on the first end in this race to 21. Both players we have seen already today in our broadcast. Kevin, Mandy Boyd, impressive quarter-final winner over Taylor Bruce, the New Zealand representative, and earlier this afternoon, Nicole Toomey beating Connie Matheson of Takapuna in the semi-finals.
Well, look at now, Brenton, we can see that Mandy Boyd has certainly started with that form that we saw earlier on this morning, of course, in that game against Taylor Bruce, where she was really convincing in that win. And there she is sitting right on top of the jack, right on the centre line, and another bowl sitting just in behind. So a good start by Mandy Boyd, the 30-year-old, of course, from the Elmwood Park Club. Just as well, of course, started her bowls in the Hawke's Bay and also played Johnsonville. And as you rightly say, has won 6 New Zealand fours and 5 New Zealand fours and 2 New Zealand pairs, and has been beaten, of course, by Sandra Keith in the final of the New Zealand singles here in Auckland, and her chance now to get that gold. And of course for Nicole Toomey, was beaten in the final of the women's pairs and by Mandy and Angela Boyd, and Nicole Toomey playing with Caitlin Inch a few years back in North Harbour. So two of the form players, no doubt about that. We saw Nicole Toomey very much so in the Bowls 3-5 series. She was outstanding in that, played exceptionally well. But at the moment, this very first end, it's Mandy Boyd that's holding, I would say, 3 shots.
Yeah, a rematch of the Bowls 3-5 final on Sky Sport from a month ago. In some respects, Mandy Boyd plays as a number 2 for the Elmwood Park Saints in their triple. The lead was Nicole Toomey for the Stokes Valley Vipers in their successful campaign. And another great bowl from Mandy Boyd. So, yeah, I think she's holding 4 now.
So,
big bowl this early on, early stages, Kevin Hickland.
Nicole Toomey has got to draw up to those 2 bowls sitting adjacent to the jack, endeavouring to try and get a rest inside them. Can't be narrow. And lo and behold, that's exactly what has happened. And straight away, we saw Mandy Boyd dominate the centre line, dominate the jack, and there it is, 4 shots.
And what a start from Mandy Boyd in pursuit of her maiden national singles title. 4-0. She leads Nicole Toomey in this first to 21 women's singles final here at Carlton Cornwall, where I can report the weather is still brilliant. A beautiful summer's day up here in Auckland. Fingers crossed it stays away, the bad weather which has plagued the first couple of days of these Summerset Nationals, and we get through this match unaffected. Also taking place not only just here at Carlton Cornwall, but also at the Howick Club in East Auckland, and also at Browns Bay on the North Shore is the men's pairs post-section play. And we can run you through a few of those results while we broadcast this game for you. Firstly, here at Carlton Cornwall, Jordan King and Chris Lowe, the 2019 champions in the pairs, they are through to the round of 32. They had a hard-fought win in the round of 64. The Hills, the grandfather and grandson combination of Neville and Liam Hill. Liam Hill, the youngster who is skipping that combination, they are also through to the last 32. Just 11 years of age is Liam Hill. And Also, Browns Bay, Keanu Darby is out, losing to Marshall Stoddart in the round of 64. So those are a few of the results, and we'll keep bring you a few more of those round of 64 and a few round of 32 results as well as we call the game here. Just passing by our commentary position, actually one of those to also go out, Mike Kernahan. Might as well bring you that result. So Mike Kernahan, who had one of the fancied combinations, Mike Kernahan playing with Finbar McGuigan of the Stokes Valley Vipers, teammate of Nicole Toomey. They went down to Mike Galloway 17-15 in the round of 64. That game played at the Howick Club. But our focus is very much right now on the women's singles. Mandy Boyd, great start to this final, and hasn't managed to get one close yet though in the second end, nor has Nicole Toomey.
No, as they come down towards the clubhouse here, the park-like surroundings here at the Carlton Cornwall Bowling Club. No, a wee bit of a breeze, but as we said earlier, it's not going to affect the players as we watch this bowl of Mandy Boyd's run by their head. A bit of extra weight on it, so plenty of room here for Nicole Toomey on the backhand to meet her, to draw the shot and get herself underway in this race to 21. So it's definitely started on a wider arc, this bowl, but it's still going to finish underneath the centre line. No weight, badly lacking in weight. In fact, that's about 3 metres short. Asking the marker what the story is, whether it's 1 or 2, I would imagine.
It's a measure for shot.
Measure for shot with that bowl. That's just, that's right. I couldn't quite see it under the monitor, but it.
Right at the bottom of the screen, next to the first to 21, there is a Nicole Toomey bowl. That bowl and the Mandy Boyd bowl, which is Jack Lowe, the grey bowls, Mandy Boyd. Measure between those two for shot. Seems to be what the marker, Jill Fraser, who was also the marker for the semi-final, Nicole Toomey won earlier this afternoon over Connie Matheson of Takapuna.
So definitely wider on that green line is Mandy Boyd, but no weight again.
Both players struggling. Don't know if conditions would have changed, Kevin.
Well, it's just looking at the flag and it's sort of curled around the flagpole a bit, but looking out on the green, there's no real, I wouldn't think there is an issue there, Brenton, but again, so here's a better green, better line bowl here from Nicole Toomey as it breaks back towards the centre line, and that certainly has to be the shot.
Great bowl, wonderfully done, much needed. That probably also, that touch on it means it will just be the one. But Nicole Toomey on the board, and it is now 4-1. Nicole Toomey trailing Mandy Boyd in this race to 21 women's singles final. So brought you a few of the results from the men's pairs post-section round of 64. Also through to the last 32 is Gary Lawson, who's playing with fellow blackjack Andrew Kelly. They won 20-12 over David Eads. Peter Shane, very experienced player, beating Scott Harrison 23-8 in the round of 64 at Howick to make it through to the last 32. It's going to be an all Taranaki affair. In fact, West End teammates Dean Elgar and Craig DeFerrier will take on each other in the last 32 at Howick after they had relatively straightforward wins in the round of 64. I mentioned that Mike Kernahan and Finbar McGuigan are out after losing to Mike Galloway. Galloway will face Aidan Takarua, an old foe from Bowls 3-5. Of course, foes in the Auckland region. Takarua from Point Chev is through to the last 32. I think he's playing with Richard Hocking, so that's quite a decent young combination. And the defending champion Ray Martin is through to the last 32 with Robbie Bennett. And those are the feature results from the last 64. But in the last 32, which is one of the rounds sections which had a bye in the first round today of post-section play, Seamus Curtin and Shannon McElroy are out. They have been beaten by Gary Banks 15-10 in the round of 32. So a major upset there as Mike Kernahan Finbar McGuigan and Seamus Curtin and Shannon McElroy all gone.
Certainly two of the favoured combinations, Brenton, weren't they, going into this event? And of course, Finbar McGuigan and Mike Kernahan had already played. They'd played Seamus Curtin and Shannon in section play, and Kernahan running out the winner. So not to be for those leading combinations, and that's what the Nationals, what makes them so good. So here now, Nicole Toomey on a good arc to the jack. Just how's the weight as it breaks its way down in towards the centre line now. Just going to slightly short, but definitely holding one. Another bolt sitting jack level.
So we will have the first of our quarterfinalists in the men's pairs shortly, on the next couple of hours. Gary Banks will play Lance Pascoe in the round of 16. Lance Pascoe playing with Jamie Hill, uncle of young Liam, 11 years old. Quite amazing through to this stage. What a story that is, playing with his granddad Neville.
On the hunt for the jack as Mandy Boyd just goes by. Played the runner on the forehand. She could either turn her own bolt into the head or get the jack. Just slipped underneath it. So Nicole Toomey will certainly want to get another bowl close by and a counter and put the pressure. But again, it's going to be well under that centre line. Mandy Boyd will most likely, she'll play that shot again.
Taking her time on the mat this time, Mandy Boyd.
We saw this morning that not frightened to attack, as we know that Mandy Boyd certainly not frightened to attack.
Asking the marker if she's 2 down. Jill Fraser doing the honours. This women's singles final here, the first of the medal matches at these Summerset National Singles and Pairs.
Looking for that jack with a different weight like this time, but going to feather up on that front bowl. Definitely 1, perhaps 2 to Nicole Toomey.
Yeah, I'd favour it being 2. Waiting for the confirmation from our marker, and then they go. 2 lollipops going the way of Nicole Toomey. So 4-3 now. So after dropping a 4 on the first end, it's been a good little fight back from Nicole Toomey. 1 on the second, now couple on the third. 4-3 it is. Mandy Boyd of Elmwood Park Club in Christchurch, and Nicole Toomey of Victoria in Wellington.
So the jack length, it's been shortened up quite considerably here by Nicole Toomey as they are playing away from the down towards the clubhouse. You can see a bit of breeze through those trees at the back there, but certainly nothing which I would say is going to cause any challenge to the players. Good opening bowl here from the Victoria player. Just sits just low of the jack. Very handy opening bowl. Mandy Boyd. Follow that on the backhand. Great line, but certainly going to fall well short of weight. And we saw in that second game, Brenton, not that we were actually covering it, but we saw Mandy Boyd jump out to a very, very big lead, didn't she, against Linda Ralph. But Linda Ralph came back to, it was 17-3, came back to 17-11. So it's, and Boyd getting over the line, obviously, quite convincingly.
Yeah, Mandy Boyd making a great start first end, but last couple of ends
Absolutely.
well below what we'd expect for the former New Zealand international and 7-time national champion.
Nicole Toomey has moved the jack with that her second bowl and nestled right behind, the jack and bowl right behind.
And the opposite is true for Toomey, who was a bit slow to start.
Absolutely.
Well short of what we'd seen from her previously, but now seemingly found her range. This looks a better bowl from Mandy Boyd, but it's still going to finish short of the target.
Needed to get past the red bowl of Nicole Toomey, who's definitely holding 2 shots, trailing 4-3. On the back end now, we'll see Nicole Toomey looks to be on a pretty good line. Just how's the weight as it comes down towards that line to the jack? Needs to get past her. Not going to. Holding 2. So Mandy Boyd try and get down to that counting bowl or to the jack. Looks to be just on the wide side. Needs to come back a long way from there. Definitely playing with that searching weight to get contact.
So Nicole Toomey holding a couple, but to play her last. Mandy Boyd will have the final say on this 4th end. Toomey a chance to add a 3rd to the count. Has it got the weight? No, it's going to finish short of the head as well. Nestle alongside her 3rd. Well, Mandy Boyd will make her way to the mat after coming down to assess the head.
The stage, there was a bit of a reprieve there for Mandy Boyd because Nicole Toomey had every opportunity to really
could have added a couple more.
Absolutely.
There. The count couldn't have been holding 4 really. So Nicole Toomey will score 2 if Mandy Boyd can't pinch it here. She could have potentially been scoring 4.
So Boyd playing with that weight to get to the jack. She's looking at it closely, but again it's going to go by on that wide side.
So 2 to Nicole Toomey. 2 more, that is. So after trailing 4-0, it's now Nicole Toomey of Victoria and Wellington leading Mandy Boyd of Elmwood Park and Christchurch 5-4. Nicole Toomey 5-4 over Mandy Boyd.
Of course, with the race to 21, ends don't count, only shots that count, no time limit, so the ends don't actually matter. And again, we're seeing that very much that shorter length that Nicole Toomey tends to be favouring. And they're checking on that to see whether that's up the required length. Just asking the marker, Jill Fraser, how far the jack is down past the front line. We might see the umpire called here.
Yeah, Chief Umpire Sue Rossiter is going to make her way onto the green to see if Nicole Toomey has placed the jack far enough down the green to be the minimum regulation length.
But certainly the mat is up a couple of mat lengths, or at least
looks like it's okay.
It looks like it very quickly.
Just by a foot or 2. So the jack will remain where it is, won't be given up and handed to Mandy Boyd to roll down. So a good little fight back this from Nicole Toomey. You wouldn't have blamed her for being shaken up a bit after dropping a 4 on the first and to maybe lose her bundle a bit, but certainly not. Has not been the case from Toomey. Has taken the match straight back to the more illustrious rival.
And opening up pretty well again this end. Certainly it's a wee bit short of the jack, but it's certainly in the area. It's in the good counting area, and putting the pressure straight away on Mandy Boyd, who's been struggling with the line so far after that 4. But she's Boyd here has made amends and drawn just jack high, and it'll definitely be the shot. Sits just about a foot in the jack. Nicole Toomey, the sunglasses, Victoria top. It's on a good line, this bowl from Nicole Toomey. Is it going to sit inside and roll out? It's going to sit on the outside of the Mandy Boyd bowl, but was certainly had the right weight to get to that bowl.
Both players in their club colours, as Kevin mentioned, the yellow and black of Victoria Club for Nicole Toomey, and the yellow, blue and white of Elmwood Park for Mandy Boyd.
So again there, Mandy Boyd just missing that line. She got right with the first bowl, not so with the second. Came up short. Nicole Toomey was pretty close with her second bowl to sit on the shot bowl, but it's on the wider side with this her third bowl. Good crowd in here at Carlton Cornwall watching this final, and of course the men's peers as well. And now Mandy Boyd looks as though Brendan also on that wide side.
He almost followed Nicole Toomey's line, didn't she? That wide Toomey bowl. Boyd a touch more weight, but following a very similar line. Now Nicole Toomey with her last. Oh, this the fifth end.
Certainly brought that line in.
Yeah, overcorrection though. And didn't have the necessary weight to reach the target. So it's Mandy Boyd holding shot. Last bowl of this end. Chance to reclaim the lead here. After dropping 5 shots in the last 3 ends, Boyd.
It's on a good line to the jack. On a good line to count. And it will.
Great bowl. Just what she needed. After a bit of a rough 3 ends for the 7-time national champion, she picks up a 2 on this, the 5th. And it's Mandy Boyd 6, leading Nicole Toomey 5. Of course, it's not about the ends. There's an unlimited number of them. It's all about who is first to score 21.
Yeah. Interesting here, Brendan. We see Mandy Boyd has got the mat quite a way up. So it'll be right to the 2 metre mark, the jack. But the mat is certainly quite a distance up from the...
It's almost all the way up.
It is. If you look on there now, it's only half a mat away from being literally all the way up. So here is Mandy Boyd. So it's still relatively a shorter end, but the jack is sitting on the 2 metre mark. Coaxing the bowl on is Mandy Boyd. And 1.5 metres short.
Obviously decided this is the kind of length that she wants. Wanted to play with the jack on that 2 metre mark. Maybe believes it benefits her and maybe disadvantages Toomey, although Toomey more effective first bowl, although that does eventually just slide past the jack. Unfortunate not to get a piece of the jack.
I thought that Nicole Toomey was going to take the jack for a walk then. It was heading in that direction to get to the jack and move it back further back towards the ditch. This looks a better bowl here from Mandy Boyd. It's now arcing back in towards that centre line and is going to just sit lower the jack, but certainly pretty handy.
Oh, Toomey wasn't too far away with her first. Try and follow that line, maybe pull back the weight a tiny bit.
On a good line here, on a very, very good line is Nicole Toomey.
Great adjustment.
Superb bowl.
Only needed to be a small adjustment, didn't it, from her first, where she just slid past the jack. And grabbing the shot back is Nicole Toomey. Now the weight coming from Boyd and missing. Very adept at those weighted shots, though. We'll see those when she is down on the head. She won't be afraid to play them with her third, fourth, sometimes even her second bowls.
No, she's not frightened to attack is Mandy Boyd. Another good bowl coming in here from Nicole Toomey. Is going to sit under the Mandy Boyd. No, it just fell out instead of falling in.
So they're 3 pretty handy bowls, aren't they, from Nicole Toomey? First just slid past the jack, unfortunate not to take it. Second one nestling just alongside it, and that one very close to sitting inside the Boyd bowl as she comes second time around.
Got her own.
Oh, now it is 2 to Toomey.
Jarred her own bowl as well, out of the head, off target.
Yeah, so ran into the short one, and then that knocked the second bowl of Boyd's out of the head. Now Toomey, an opportunity to potentially turn this into 3 here.
2, it looks like, from here, Brendan. It is.
Yeah, 2 to Nicole Toomey, who takes the lead back. 7-6. Nicole Toomey now leading Mandy Boyd. It's race to 21. So this is probably what we more expected. You know, a lot of lead changes after Mandy Boyd jumped out to the early lead. It's settled down somewhat now.
And we are seeing the difference in where they're placing the mat, where they're delivering the jack, so they're endeavouring to vary psychologically, vary that length around. So Nicole Toomey going for her first New Zealand title. And good opening bowl. Sits higher the jack. Very handy position. Mandy Boyd quickly into her work on the forehand. Tall figure. The Elmwood Park player just looks as though it's going to be on the wide side. Had to be on the line to the wine bowl or the maroony bowl of Nicole Toomey. Toomey again now on her forehand. Pretty short head because the mat has been moved up from the 2 metre mark as well. Another very good bowl here from the young Victorian player. Going to sit right alongside the jack. All but a toucher. So Boyd did follow that on the forehand. Definitely brought the line in from her first bowl. Needs to get under this bowl of Nicole Toomey's, and does. Comes right back to the centre line. Sits in behind, but will still be one shot to the Wellington player.
Nicole Toomey on her forehand side. Started it out quite wide, asking a bit too much of it. Not going to make its way back to the centre line. Weight wasn't too far away.
It's interesting though, Brendan, all of the bowls on this hit so far have all been well greened, and coming back to that centre line, you can see they get the bowls closer. Not that Boyd now changing to the backhand, trying to reach up to that shot bowl. It's on a good line as well. Is it going to hold up long enough to get to the jack or the shot bowl? No, it's not going to sit alongside though, and that just fell out.
Yeah, if it had fallen against the bias, it might have grabbed shot, but still would favour the Toomey bowl from our angle anyway.
Toomey now going to her backhand as well, following the Mandy Boyd bowl.
Playing her last of the end. Boyd will have the final say. Has it got the weight to reach the head? No, it doesn't, is the answer. It's going to finish good metre and a half short, maybe even 2.
I just wonder whether Boyd's going to change her hand, and she is, and play across under the head to the red bowl of Nicole Toomey's to try and just push it through the head, and she can make 3 of it. That's exactly what she's doing, looking for the bowl on the side of the jack, going to get the jack or the bowl.
Oh, it goes through the gap. Unfortunate Mandy Boyd. You see exactly what she was trying to do. Knock away the handy bowl of Nicole Toomey.
That shot was certainly on for Mandy Boyd, and
it was the shot bowl. So another shot to Nicole Toomey. If she had executing, or she wasn't far away from executing, would have made it 3 to Mandy Boyd. So that was how big a shot that could have been. If executed, would have been a 9-7 scoreline. Instead it's 8-6.
And of course the other thing was the way how it was headed or running towards the jack. If it didn't get the shot bowl but instead got the jack would have gone straight back with the Mandy Boyd bowl. So it was certainly the best percentage shot, and just narrowly went on the inside of the shot bowl.
So we've had 7 ends, and Nicole Toomey scored on 5 of them, and pretty impressive. Certainly hasn't been daunted by more illustrious player, and Mandy Boyd, of course, Commonwealth Games bronze medalist back at the Glasgow Games in 2014, a 7-time national champion. Has been in a women's singles final before against Toomey, who has had a peers final experience but has yet to win a national title. Certainly doesn't have the international experience that Mandy Boyd has. She has not been daunted by the occasion so far.
Not at all, and a very good opening bowl from Nicole Toomey on that backhand side, on the shorter length head. The mat, though, has been moved further back on this particular end, back towards the 2 metre mark. And again, there's a very well green bowl out on that arc to get back to the centre line. Exactly what it's doing. It's going to come across in front of the... I think it got a touch on the jack. Yes, it did. So Mandy Boyd, I don't think it's going to wait around for long before she attacks.
Here it comes, right on cue. Well called, Kevin. Has she got the target? Well, she knocks out one of the Toomey bowls. That was possibly holding second shot. Opens it up.
Of course, Boyd trying to get to the jack and run the jack back into the ditch. Instead, just got the outside bowl, but was a counter. Again, this third bowl in Nicole Toomey's, this is well grassed again. This is very well greened as it just arcs in towards that centre line. And it's a repeat. Another good bowl from the young Wellington player. And again, we're going to see Mandy Boyd. She'll certainly be on the attack.
Yeah, looking for that jack again. If not one of the 2-shot bowls of Toomey. This time she gets the jack. I think it's going to be replayed in, though. It looked like it spliced out to the side.
It's gone right out to the side.
So that end is killed and will be replayed. Well played, both players, really. Nicole Toomey with great draw bowls. Mandy Boyd with the drive she missed with her first, but not her second. And while she didn't get the 100% result of trailing the jack into the ditch, she got the next best, and that was to spit the jack out the side of the rink, and we will replay this, the 8th end.
Interesting though, Brent, in the last 3 ends, we've seen Nicole Toomey's consistency on the draw really start to come to the fore, and we've seen then Mandy Boyd on each one of those ends playing attacking shots to either reduce or kill or get the jack. So the draw play of Nicole Toomey's is now starting to get where it was struggling early on in this game. It just appears now to be comfortable with a line and weight, and it's certainly been impressive. And again, we look at this first bowl now, it's on that centre line track again, and that's where it'll come, virtually right back to the centre line. So that's the consistency that should be looking for.
Yeah, within a couple of feet there, Nicole Toomey, good solid start. Yeah, perhaps benefiting from being able to dictate the length as well. In control of the mat and the jack at the moment, Nicole Toomey. She scored on the last couple of ends, and she was dictating terms before this end was killed. It's now been replayed.
Again, the line from Mandy Boyd was good. It was just that 2 feet of, or 2 metres of weight. And another good bowl coming in here from Nicole Toomey on that backhand, drawing right towards the jack. Got a touch again on the jack. This is pretty impressive, these last few ends, Brendan.
Very impressive. Yeah, Mandy Boyd got off to a great start, but really it's been all Nicole Toomey since that first end. Boyd did pick up a 2 on the 4th, but Nicole Toomey has scored on the rest, and it's a good, decent reply though from Mandy Boyd. Unfortunate just to slide under and through the head. Looks like it's still Toomey holding a couple, but Toomey's just been the more consistent of the players, and has really dictated the terms and forced Boyd to have to play the attacking shots to try and get out of trouble or reduce counts. Searching
to try and get the result, isn't it? Another good bowl here from Nicole Toomey. This is going to come towards the centre line. I think we're going to see we might get some attack here on the backhand. Looks like it on the mat. That familiar swing of the arm of Mandy Boyd's. Yes, on the backhand, trying to get to the jack. just goes by.
Yeah, wasn't far away from getting the jack there. See what she was trying to do. Got the jack clean, would have taken it into the ditch. Should be holding a couple.
I don't think Nicole Toomey needs to really cover the back too great, because the way the angle is, one would think that if Mandy Boyd makes connection, it's more likely to kill than go straight back to into the ditch. But going for the security, knowing that holding the shots and leading 8-6, Mandy Boyd now is going to attack again on the backhand. And the same gap.
Yeah, this time she has cleared out one, so instead of Toomey picking up 3, it's going to be 2. Nicole Toomey's the first to double digits, so 10-6. Nicole Toomey of Victoria and Wellington now leading Mandy Boyd of Elmwood Park in Christchurch. 4-shot advantage, and she remains in control of the jack and the mat. Got men's pairs ongoing in front of us as well. Into round 32 action on the green right in front of our commentary position. We've got the 2019 champions Jordan King and Chris Lowe up against 2 of their Mangere club mates, and also we've got the grandson and grandfather combination, the Hills, Liam and Neville, and that's still tied up at 7 apiece, their match up against Pat Houlihan. So very well fought contest there. What a story that would be if Liam Hill and his granddad Neville can make it through to the last 16. Liam just 11 years of age and skipping here at the Summerset Nationals. Mandy Boyd and Nicole Toomey, both players who had success at youth level, secondary schools level, before they've made it here to the big stage. And Mandy Boyd was young when she won her first national title back in 2011, but I don't think she was 11 years old.
No, certainly not. She won the 4s with Sue Bernard, Leanne Curry and her sister Angela Boyd. So here now, Nicole Toomey. Interesting, length's been changed, just lower the 2 metre mark. This is interesting because, Brendan, the ends before we've been playing at least another 6 feet up from where that jack's position, and Nicole Toomey was just, everything was going her way. All of a sudden, might have been by accident, but she's lengthened it quite considerably and has not really capitalised on this. Mandy Boyd's bowl now just going past the jack and will fall in. It's mostly like the shot, I would say.
Yeah, we're close to it. Still plenty of room. Nicole Toomey, though, has to make the adjustment. Like you say, different length.
And again, that line, you'll see, Brenton, is, you can see the bowl now just coming right away under that centre line. Now the green is, well, it's just sweating a wee bit. You can see on the cameras out, you can see out in front of where Mandy Boyd's standing in front of the mat. There's just with that humidity and heat, it's just starting to sweat a wee bit, which also just makes a slight difference to the speed as well. It doesn't change the coming to the centre line of that, but just does make a difference to the speed. Just sweating a wee bit. Mandy Boyd changing her hand on a better line, coming down towards the centre line now. Has to run another metre to count. Fall in. We'll see whether Jill Fraser gives us any indication.
You'd favour that final bowl from our angle.
Nicole Toomey with her last bowl, trying to make amends. This looks pretty good. Looks very good, in fact, as it just gets a little feather on the front bowl of Mandy Boyd's. And that'll make shot.
And it was needed too from Nicole Toomey.
Well, the door was open for 3, wasn't it, with Mandy Boyd's last bowl? And I just wonder whether she will attack with weight on her backhand. Looks like weight.
Yeah, it looks like she's winding up. There's Mandy Boyd, and here it comes. A drive from the 7-time champ. And she's got the jack. Now, where did it go?
No. Must have... It must have been killed.
Play. No, it's in play.
Oh, it's in play.
I thought it might. Yeah, it
Well,
looks
it is,
it's
yes.
just inside
just inside. Yeah.
Oh, that's a bowl.
It's a bowl.
Where'd the jack end up? There's the jack. So, a couple to Mandy Boyd, is it?
That's a bit strange, really. Mandy Boyd now the mat straight away, back on the 2 metre mark.
So work out how many that was.
Well, if that angle, it would have looked like 2 if that was the...
Assume that was the shot bowl in the ditch. I believe it's just 1 has gone up on the scoreboard out there. So 7-10 now at the score. So Nicole Toomey now leading by 3, 10-7 over Mandy Boyd.
And we've definitely seen a change of length from Mandy Boyd. The mat is sitting right back on the 2 metre mark, and the jack has been delivered virtually to the 2 metre mark as well. Just under the 2 metre mark. Good opening bowl from Mandy Boyd. It's going to run across slightly under the jack line. But a good opening bowl. Good line on the bowl here from...
Yeah, not the weight
not
though.
The weight though will kill you on this Manutato. You don't give it the weight, it's just going to pull up and duck away under the centre line. So Mandy Boyd now, she'll certainly want to make amends, really put the pressure on, trailing 10-7 in the race to 21 in this final of the Summerset Women's National Singles. And again, that's going to be short, still leaves a metre for Nicole Toomey to draw the shot. On the forehand. Well, this certainly looks on a better line. How's the weight? This looks better now as it just comes towards the centre line, and it looks like the shot. Mandy Boyd following down the bowl of Nicole Toomey's. This two's on a pretty good line, but it's not going to have the weight. Again.
These longer length ends have really troubled both players, haven't they?
Certainly have.
Neither player's really been able to get on top of this fuller length. Mandy Boyd's been the one wanting to play it. Hasn't been able to master it.
Correct, it was Mandy Boyd's choice, Brendan, it wasn't, of the length of the jack. Now, yeah, then Nicole Toomey, that's 15 feet short, that particular bowl. So what's now Mandy Boyd, 1 down on the head. On the forehand. Certainly it's on a wider line. More than likely though it's going to have to come all the way around to get to the jack. Good attempt, but...
Yeah, it was a fair attempt. I thought it was too heavy straight away. She did a little shake of her
saw the hand go.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be too much, and it was past the head, but not by much. Wouldn't be far away from taking shot, but it's like Toomey is holding shot, maybe a chance to make it a second. She can make an adjustment. She gets a nice little slide off that wide ball. Is it going to hold up? It's going to enough. That's going to be second. Well, it might even be the shot. So is that two? Or is it just one? Was that for the shot? It was Mandy Boyd's last, actually the shot bowl. So one's taken away. That was that fortuitous little slide that Toomey got off her wide bowl. Now she's measuring to her second maroon bowl, and now we'll come over to the black bowls of Mandy Boyd. It is two to Nicole Toomey. So Toomey scores another couple, and 12-6. She now leads. 12-7, excuse me. 12-7 it is in this race to 21. Nicole Toomey leading 12-7 over Mandy Boyd.
Nice little break there for Nicole Toomey. And certainly, as we've said a number of times, the ends don't count, but it's just a bit of a buffer. I think at this stage it's fair to say that Nicole Toomey's just got a wee bit more consistency on the draw than what we have seen from Mandy Boyd. To seem to have lost some of that, except for that first end when she drew 4 magnificent bowls. It's sort of been a bit of a struggle. Now here we've seen the bowl of Nicole Toomey's sort of go rushing by the head. Now's the chance for Mandy Boyd on her backhand. Take advantage of that. It's on a good line. How's the weight going to be as it breaks towards the centre line now to the jack? Draws, in fact, a front touch of the bowl, falls over towards the jack. It's a good opening bowl, Brenton.
It certainly is, and needed as well, because Mandy Boyd's been a bit off her game, really, from what we expected from her, especially what we saw from her this morning in her quarter-final against Taylor Bruce, the feature quarter-final. She managed to beat the current blackjack 21-13. Then she ran away to an early lead against Linda Ralph in her semi-final, 17-3. I think she led at one stage. Ended up taking that one 21-11. So, and after getting a 4 on the first end, it's been 12-3 to Nicole Toomey.
It's be interesting to see now if that second bowl in Nicole Toomey's, which was way short, the pressure now straight away now onto Nicole Toomey, and a great confidence booster for Mandy Boyd, holding 2 shots.
Interesting that Toomey decided to stick with this longer length end. Feeling
is.
like I've been scoring on them, even though Mandy Boyd's been trying to set them out. And this is a decent response. It has ended up short. It certainly has 1 in the area now. And it may be enough for second. No. 2 indicates Jill Fraser our marker. So Mandy Boyd holding a couple and a chance to make it 3. And she'll have the final say in this 11th end.
On the backhand, and has delivered the bowl rightly and sensibly out on that wider arced line. Just how far is it going to run from there? And in behind the head, just drifted past the centre line. May well count.
Yeah, might be enough for a third, you know. So it makes this bowl even more important from Nicole Toomey. Has to get it a good second, you'd think.
I was going to say it looked narrow out of her hand, actually.
She's going to get a bit of fortune. No, not this time. That shouldn't have changed the situation. So you think Boyd's holding 2, potentially 3.
Just noticed on the delivery there on that backhand of Nicole Toomey's, instead of it being that flowing arm out in front, a hand just came inside, and that goes straight away at the point of delivery. The bowl's going away from the centre line, not outside to draw. And these are the small things that can make such a difference. Yeah, Mandy Boyd's also tucked that line in, but is it enough to get past these front bowls? Needs a bit of fortuitous slide, and it got one.
Well, that's certainly 2. Now, has she got the other 2 as well? 3. And has she picked up another 4, Mandy Boyd? No. And oh, there's 4. Yep. Nicole Toomey was just knocking that one back in play. So another 4, a second 4 for Mandy Boyd. She's only scored on 4 of the ends, but she's counted them in a couple in a big way. So 12-11. Nicole Toomey's lead, which was 5 just moments ago, now just 1 in this first 221 women's singles final of the Summerset Nationals at Carlton Cornwall in Auckland. Beautiful weather for bowls. Pleased to report there's been no rain, so we have had no interruptions, unlike the past couple of days to start these Summerset Nationals, which caused a few headaches for both players and organisers. And looking like we'll get through all 4 rounds of post-section play in the men's pairs as well, as we look to get to the quarter-final lineup and that discipline.
Now, interesting was seeing Mandy Boyd. The mat's now been placed quite away up the green again, and it's about trying to get some consistency, which they've really both been struggling with from on certain lengths, and no one's settled on a constant. And Mandy Boyd short with that bowl. Nicole Toomey quickly into her work, trying to egg it on, but it's under the line, but will beat the shot.
Yeah, it looked like Mandy Boyd was just having a few words to herself as well behind the mat, trying to get herself to focus and capitalise on this good 4. Last time she scored a 4 was on the opening end, and she then gave up 5 shots over the next 3 ends.
And dearly love to win this singles title would Mandy Boyd, to give her the full suite.
Yeah, complete the selection.
And certainly
she's won the 4s 5 times. Already, of course, has that gold star just with 4s titles. She's got the pairs, a couple to her name with her sister Angela Boyd, but has just the runner-up badge, the silver medal in the singles.
Well, the last thing that Mandy Boyd wants to do is undo all that good work from the last end. You know, she's 2 down now, and both her first 2 bowls are short. Looks as though changing to the backhand, make sure that she's not going to get tangled up on any of those front bowls. Certainly giving it a good arc. It's breaking down towards the centre line now, around towards the jack. Falls in, might be close, definitely the second shot anyway, if not the shot. And it is 1-2 Nicole Toomey, as signalled by Jill Fraser. But a better position now for Mandy Boyd, what it was looking after the first 2 bowls.
Yeah, giving herself something to work with. Well, if she's able to get some movement of the jack, that bowl could very much come into contention. As Nicole Toomey is short with her 3rd, she comes down to the head to see what the situation is for herself, and then we'll await this final bowl on this 12th end of Mandy Boyd's. See what her rival can come up with. Trying to follow a similar line of her previous, but more weight on this one.
Just the 1 down is Mandy Boyd, with Nicole Toomey leading 12-11 in the race to 21. Because earlier on we saw Nicole Toomey defeat Connie Mathewson in the semi-final, and we saw Mandy Boyd defeat Linda Ralph in the other semi-final. And of course Nicole Toomey, part of that Stokes Valley, the Vipers, going to come back far enough to count.
A bit too much of it, I think, there, Nicole Toomey. But she wins another end, does the Wellingtonian. So 13-11 it is now. Nicole Toomey of the Victoria Club over Mandy Boyd from Elmwood Park in Christchurch. So 8 of the 12 ends won by Toomey. But it's the numbers Mandy Boyd's been able to pick up on her 4. A couple of 4s scored has kept her in contention in this match.
So Nicole Toomey has lengthened it up again slightly.
Just right in front of us, seeing a very good attempt from the youngster Liam Hill and the men's peers. It's hard not to be distracted by that contest, isn't it, Kevin? And you got 11-year-old and his granddad playing. It's very cool.
So Mandy Boyd trailing 13-11 on the backhand. The jack sitting just under the 2 metre mark. The first bowl in Nicole Toomey's gone by about a metre. Good bowl breaking in towards the centre line here from Mandy Boyd. This is going to sit close to the jack, just falls out, but certainly the shot. Good opening bowl by the Elmwood Park. Well, she's done everything really, hasn't she? You know, won medals at the Commonwealth Games. Of course, hasn't played yet in a World Bowls. Was, of course, selected for the World Bowls in Christchurch in 2016, but had to withdraw prior to the arrival of their first child. And Kirsten Edwards, in fact, came into the side as her replacement, who has just had twins.
Yeah. Congratulations to the Edwards family.
Another good bowl here from Mandy Boyd, just slipping by and sitting right on the 2 metre mark. Two very good bowls here from Mandy Boyd. I believe Kirsten Edwards is actually playing with the Boyd girls in the fours in Alexandra later on in late February.
It's been a successful partnership.
Great attempt
previously
here from Nicole Toomey. Going to sit on the shot bowl and fall in.
Very well executed by the player of the Victoria Club in Wellington. Nicole Toomey searching for that maiden national title. Jill Fraser, the marker, giving Mandy Boyd on the mat an indication of how far away that Toomey bowl is. Dictate the kind of shot Boyd will look to play.
So down on the forehand side, down towards the clubhouse. Trying to get that line to the jack. Is it going to hold up long enough or get a slide off the front bowl? Didn't get it thick. And I'd say it would still be the one shot to Nicole Toomey, and very hard to get to that shot bowl, Brendan, is that you can't sort of push it out of the head with weight, because you wouldn't swing around. It'd be difficult to get to.
Yeah, it's difficult for either player really to do anything with the situation as it stands. But Nicole Toomey to try and add a second, or for Mandy Boyd to snatch it her way. If you maybe play with just that reaching weight, maybe Mandy Boyd with her final bowl to land on one of the short ones and promote it. Yeah,
I think that's what she'll endeavour to do, because turn her own bowl, of course, into the head. And this bowl of Nicole Toomey's is going to go...
Could provide some nuisance value here.
If it gets to the centre line, it is. So now the options for Mandy Boyd is to either draw the shot, turn her own bowl over, or she may look at that split shot down on the other hand.
You think maybe still on the backhand side?
Yeah,
think maybe
that to me seems the best percentage shot to get to her own bowl as well.
We'll see what Mandy Boyd has summed up from having a look at the head situation. Obviously she would have a better summation of the facts. Sometimes our angles can be slightly misleading.
So on that forehand is Mandy Boyd. No, on that backhand that you spoke about, Brendan, sorry. Trying to get down for that split in between the two bowls. It's on a pretty good line.
It's just going to be a bit narrow, I think,
it's on a pretty good line.
Oh, look at that. That should steal it. That should grab it for Mandy Boyd. It is close, though. Mandy Boyd's still looking at it. Maybe not.
That was a great bowl, though.
It has been enough for Mandy Boyd, so great bowl from the Elmwood Park player. 13-12 it is. Nicole Toomey leading Mandy Boyd as Mandy Boyd scores on her 5th end. What is the 13th end played in this race to 21 women's singles final here at the Summerset Nationals at Carlton Cornwall in Auckland. Beautiful weather, pleased to report, and we hope for it to continue throughout the week. Of course, tomorrow will be post-section play continuing in the men's pairs, and we'll be bringing to you a quarter-final, a semi-final and the final, just as we have done today.
And lost the jack, Mandy Boyd,
which was a theme of her quarter-final victory over Taylor Bruce. It didn't seem to affect her in that. Can Nicole Toomey make her pay and find a length that she's much more comfortable with?
So this end again has gone back to that shorter length because the mat has been laid slightly up from the 1.5 mats up from the 2 metre mark. So here is Mandy Boyd on her forehand, trailing 13-12 in the race to 21. Looks to be on a good line. How's the weight going to be to get to the jack? Look, it got to the centre line, but still needed a metre of weight. Toomey will go to her backhand. It's exactly Nicole Toomey. On a backhand to get past that front bowl. And really, it's a bit of a, it may well be, well, no, it won't be the shot, I wouldn't imagine, because other bowls more on a straight line, but no one's really got the shot because they're a good metre away from any counting area. So here now is Mandy Boyd on her forehand, wanting to make amends for that first short bowl. This looks better as it comes towards the centre line. Falls in, one would think would be the shot.
Yeah, plenty of room for both players to work into, though, and you expect them both to better their opening bowls. Get one closer than they have so far. Nicole Toomey with her second. Looks a bit short. It's going to nestle alongside the opening bowl of Mandy Boyd's. So still a big door to walk through for either player. It's wide open.
So Boyd on the forehand following up this third bowl. And that's going to, again, is it going to get past the front bowl to get to the jack? That's close. Now this is a difficult head now for Nicole Toomey to get to. Changing her hand to give her an opportunity to get to either the second shot on the forehand or draw to the Mandy Boyd bowl. Certainly on following that Mandy Boyd line, but it's going to be short. Great chance here, Brendan, for Mandy Boyd to lay 3 shots and put the pressure on Nicole Toomey with her last bowl. 3 short bowls, and now the old story normally is you try and correct with that weight with your last, and you tend to flip past pretty. And with the greens running about 17 seconds, the margin of error, it's not that a metre can be a big difference. You see the hands there from Mandy Boyd. Always gives us a bit of an idea of what she thinks, but this looks pretty good. It's going to count. Jack level falls over.
Yeah, usually when those hands are going, she believes it's a bit too quick, but certainly looks ideal speed. And that's a great bowl from the 7-time national champion, looking for her 8th national title, but first in the singles, has 5 already in the fours, a couple in the pairs.
So here is Nicole Toomey. Doesn't like it, does she? It's out on the wide side. We spoke about the weight, Brent, after you've played 3 short bowls. And it goes by. It's just one of those things that can happen. You try and put that yard or metre of weight on, and on these slippery greens it can very quickly just do what that one did.
So, is it 2 or 3? Certainly 2. 3 indicated by Jill Fraser and confirmed by Nicole Toomey. So the lead changes again. Mandy Boyd, who's picked up a couple of 4s, now a 3, is leading Nicole Toomey 15-13 in this race to 21. So who wants it? It is up for grabs for either player as Boyd reclaims the lead.
It's interesting that Nicole Toomey went through a spate of 3 or 4 ends where her consistency was right there. The last 2 ends we've seen now Mandy Boyd with her consistency getting back to that centre line and setting up good heads and scored 4 shots the last 2 ends.
Yeah, and when she's scoring a big number, isn't she? A couple of 4s and a 3. So Nicole Toomey's actually scored on more ends.
Absolutely.
But when Boyd has scored, she's capitalised. And when Toomey's had an off end, Boyd has pounced.
And they're right back to the centre line, although it's short of the jack. It's right to the centre line. And Nicole Toomey was doing that a few ends ago. Just seems to have lost away a wee bit in that regard. And I just wonder whether they're changing the length end by end. They're changing the mat. There's a lot of things going on, Brendan, that just
must be very difficult to get your rhythm. It's constant changes, isn't it?
As we see Nicole Toomey draw the shot, just lower the jack, but pretty close to it. And Mandy Boyd, she'll follow up on that backhand, trying to maintain that nice arc that she's had in the bowls the last few ends. And this looks pretty handy, this bowl, as it goes. It's going to go by the jack. We'll come back to the centre line, but half a metre over. So Nicole Toomey certainly delivered this bolt out on the wider side, but hasn't matched it with weight to break back towards the centre line. Now we'll see Boyd again on that backhand, endeavouring to get to the draw, sit on the shot bowl. It's on that line that we were talking about. How far is it going to come back with that weight? Breaking its way back now, just what we spoke about. Is it going to get the jack? No. Not far away though.
Very good effort from Mandy Boyd. She went jack hunting that time. Now Nicole Toomey with the slightly wayward second, looking to get back to the centre line with her third. I don't think she's going to. So
now it's interesting with that short bowl there. It's just opened the vision line up very, very much so now from Mandy Boyd down through that port. Because if she's in that vicinity, you'd think that Mandy Boyd's going to be close to the shot bowl or the jack, and that's what she's looking for.
Looks a bit narrow. He was trying to urge it to stay out, but it was always going to come under the line. Hands on head from Mandy Boyd, not happy with herself with that
she was
final
trying
bowl.
to ride it to come back to come back, wasn't she?
Now Nicole Toomey, their last. Can she level the scores here? Now, this one looks like it's going to come up short as well. So looks like the mat will be exchanged once more. Nicole Toomey picks up a shot, 15-14 now. Mandy Boyd leading Nicole Toomey.
And the mat's been laid again, at least a couple of mats up from the 2 metre mark. So we're going to once again see that varying length of the jack.
A few Carlton Cornwall club members in their yellow and black, not to be confused with Victoria's yellow and black, watching on.
So Nicole Toomey playing away from the clubhouse up towards Alexandra Park. There's a pretty good opening bowl on her forehand. See it sitting right there on the chalk line. Boyd will no doubt go to her backhand. Got to meet it to draw the shot. It's on a good line. How's the weight? That'll be the shot, and will force immediately Nicole Toomey as well to go to her backhand, because that bowl of Mandy Boyd certainly pulled up right in that forehand draw line. And this will go well under the centre line.
So a bit of an opening here for Mandy Boyd. Nicole Toomey's short with her first couple.
And this bowl's on that same line, Brenton, now as it's breaking its way towards the centre line. Going to finish literally just near enough to be on the centre line. We may see now Toomey may well change her hand, play with some weight to try and play through the two bowls, get to the jack. That looks what Nicole Toomey is electing to play.
We haven't seen her play too many weighted bowls, Nicole Toomey. So see what execution here. Well, this is pretty handy. That's brilliantly done. So she was going for the jack. The next best result was getting rid of that shot bowl. So that certainly cleared it wide open now on that backhand side.
Only a bowl away from getting the perfect result. And
yeah, it looked good out of the hand, didn't it?
Certainly did. It was heading towards the jack, which would have gone straight to the ditch. Again, there's a good line from Mandy Boyd out on that, past that arc point there. It is again. It's going to come towards the centre line, virtually the same.
Yeah, near, not quite as good as the previous from Mandy Boyd. So it's still that opening for Nicole Toomey. She just has to emulate the last bowl, and this time she'll get the jack if she does the same bowl.
That's the shot she's playing.
Yeah, this time
get the ricochet.
She gets rid of one that was close, so it cuts the count again. But one bowl still to be played on this end, and that's in the hand of Mandy Boyd. So she can restore it, and she just has to emulate the last couple of bowls.
Well, each bowl in this particular hit has been on that identical line, on that wider backhand arc, and just breaking back towards the centre line. And this is slightly narrower, but of course if it gets in front of the bowl of which is going to
be good enough, and that will be a second shot. So Mandy Boyd is now potentially just one end away, 17-14. She now leads Nicole Toomey in this race to 21 women's singles final here at the Summerset Nationals at Carlton Cornwall in Auckland. Both players going for their maiden national singles title. Mandy Boyd looking for her 8th national title in all. Toomey her first. And Toomey, who has given up a very good account of herself against the more decorated Boyd, still will think she's a chance too.
Oh, certainly is. This is it's just imperative now, of course, that Nicole Toomey doesn't get herself in a dangerous position as we watch this bowl of Mandy Boyd's just breaking down towards the centre line now. That's a good handy start. Bowl falls in towards the jack.
So in the last 6 ends, Mandy Boyd has outscored Nicole Toomey 10-2.
Yeah, that's a bit of a I'm not saying that's a telling sign, but it's certainly, from Mandy Boyd's point of view, it shows that she's just riding that bit of confidence now. We're noticing that her bowls are all coming back, although that bowler, Nicole Toomey's, came back to the centre line, but we're just starting to see the ability that we know that Mandy Boyd has actually got with her consistency. And here's another example of that, just going to slip under the line, but still pretty adjacent to the jack area. I'm picking her next bowl. We'll see, depending on what happens here, Mandy Boyd may well go for a metre behind just to give herself some cover and get better control of the head and the scoreboard. And Nicole Toomey is going to slip by.
Unfortunate.
So what do you do here, Brendan? You want 4 to go out?
You might as well go for it, eh?
Well, she's still got close to a metre and behind the head, of course, where Mandy Boyd's bowl can count. So do you really now put the pressure on?
Absolutely,
so, right,
you do. This bowl here, you get a good third, and then straight away, Nicole Toomey is needing to get something with her third bowl. It's to be a bit closer than this, though, I think.
Well,
it's still enough for third, I believe.
So does Nicole Toomey attack the jack down that under that bowl there now, or try and get second shot?
Oh, I think you back yourself to draw, don't you? The higher percentage, or
doesn't look like she's going to.
Is she going to back herself to draw, or is she going to play with the weight?
Just watch that little swing.
Yeah, it looks like she's going to be playing with the weight, and here she comes. She was executed pretty well previous end.
Close.
Very close, and she's got the jack well executed, and now she holds 3. Well, brilliantly done. Back to her skills there, Nicole Toomey. Back to her drive play, with Boyd holding 3. Very important bowl. I needed 1 to come after that, Toomey. Had to execute, and did.
That was a superb bowl. You know, we spoke about, is that the shot you're going to play, or are you going to endeavour to get second shot? Got it clean, got the jack, and you can see by looking at the where the marker is, just went straight back to the. Now, of course, the thing now for Mandy Boyd is she doesn't want to lose her bowl. It's imperative that she gets second shot, because all of a sudden the gate opens in for a 4 for Nicole Toomey.
Oh, exactly. This end has changed on his head because of that bowl from Nicole Toomey. Boyd was holding 3, now trailing by 2. It would back her to get 1 close, though, and to make it just 1 that Toomey's holding. She's got a bowl in the ditch where the jack is.
Oof. Oof.
Is it going to hold up? Is it going to hold up? Yes, it is. That's a very good bowl, and that might be shot, you know.
It is shot,
indicated by Jill Fraser.
Well played.
Yeah, that white little marker, that's where the jack is, and there's a red marker over the other side where the Toomey bowl is. So
going for the bowl, Nicole Toomey.
She's going for the bowl. This is good, aggressive play, but she's going to run into the short stuff, is she? Yes, she is.
It's not finished yet.
Yeah, it's not finished yet, you're right.
It's not finished yet.
Not enough on it to knock it away, so I think it's still going to be 1 more to Mandy Boyd. That's very good bowls in that end. That was fun to call. As Boyd picks up another.
That's a big turnaround. That could have well been game.
Absolutely. But showing her fighting spirit, Nicole Toomey. But it is 1 more to Mandy Boyd, so 18-14 it is now. So Boyd a step closer in this race to 21. Women's singles final here at Carlton, Cornwall.
So we're getting closer to our first finalist, our winner, on top of the dice. And is Mandy Boyd going to hold on? 1 in 3, of course, to reach 21. Nicole Toomey on 14. And with that shot that Nicole Toomey just played, she's certainly still in this event, that's for sure. That was a magnificent bowl.
Yeah, outstanding. One of the bowls of the match, if not the bowl of the match. And then Mandy Boyd's draw as well.
Equally good, the draw of Mandy Boyd's, the draw to the ditch to get the shot. Yeah,
right on line. with where
right
the jack
on,
was.
absolutely, it was perfect.
She must have been within a couple of feet. Expertly done by the 7-time national champion, looking for her 8th national title, but her first in the singles discipline to complete the set, to go with those 5 fours titles and those 2 pairs titles with her sister Angela.
Good opening bowl here from Nicole Toomey. Just drew inside the Mandy Boyd bowl, sits alongside the shot on the backhand, just on the centre line.
In the absence of Caitlin Inch and Joe Edwards, you'd think Mandy Boyd and Angela Boyd would start as one of the favourites in the pairs, if not the favourites. Looking for that double, potentially here at Carlton Cornwall, a double which Caitlin Inch achieved last year.
Certainly did, and was
Went to singles and
outstanding,
pairs.
wasn't she? Absolutely outstanding last year at Christchurch.
There's a class above, wasn't she?
Oh, absolutely. Well, both Andrew Kelly and, you know, in the singles against Ryan Burnett, but Caitlin Inch in the pairs and singles against Joe Edwards, 21-12 over Joe Edwards. That was a pretty big win. And then, of course, Caitlin Inch went on from there to win the Queensland State singles and pairs.
Yeah, you think the heir apparent for Joe Edwards' singles berth at the Blackjacks level?
And of course plays on those Australian greens, those Gold Coast greens as well, all the time. This is going to slip across the head. Second shot, definitely Nicole Toomey holding the shot.
Nicole Toomey trying to add another one to the count, trying to keep in touching distance here. Boyd has taken control somewhat in the last half a dozen ends, but Toomey, as she showed on the previous, still fighting.
Just a one down, Jill Fraser indicates, and 2 seconds. So are we going to see Mandy Boyd on that backhand endeavouring to reach the what is the shot bowl?
Absolutely we are. That's the only way she knows how to play, isn't it?
Once she asked that question, to me it sort of gave an indication of, I'm not going to try and draw the shot. I'm certainly going to play with enough weight to get a turn onto what is the shot bowl of Nicole Toomey's. Here's Boyd now on the backhand. You see that shake of the shoulders and looks though it's going to be under the line.
And may actually promote one of the Toomey bowls, hopefully for Boyd's sake. It hasn't added to the count. She's still got seconds. And the final bowl of this, the 18th end. Can Toomey add another? This one looks like it's going to come up short unless it gets a big push forward of one of her own bowls. I think it's just been one. One confirmed. So Toomey picks up her first shot in a few ends, and 4 ends I think it is. So 18-14, 18-15 it is now. Mandy Boyd leading Nicole Toomey. This first to 21 women's singles final. The first title about to be handed out of the Summerset National Singles and Pairs. Will it go the way of Mandy Boyd, or will it go the way of Nicole Toomey? Mandy Boyd out of Elmwood Park in Christchurch. Nicole Toomey representing Victoria, Wellington. So still very much up for grabs. It could go either way.
Jack's been delivered to the 2 metre mark. We see the bowl. Nicole Toomey's just slipped by, and there it is sitting right underneath the number, under that number 5. So that's about 1.5 metres in behind the Jack. Mandy Boyd now. She in hunt of that first national singles title. As we watch this bowl of Boyd's, her opening bowl, it's going to just sit under that centre line, about 0.5 metre lower the Jack. To be happy with that start though. So Nicole Toomey certainly on a better green or a bit of arc with a bowl with this one. How's the weight going to be as it comes by towards the jack? That'll be the shot. Just sits in behind the jack right on the 2 metre mark.
Yeah, great response from Nicole Toomey. Just feels like the quality's ramped up last few ends, Kevin.
Certainly has. And this is a good line as well from Mandy Boyd. This is coming down towards the jack now, just getting to the centre line. How far is it going to move away? Falls out, just lower the centre line. Asking the marker who's got shot. One to Nicole Toomey.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way from our perspective as well, but Jill Fraser able to look right over the head, the marker, to give us the true indication. Toomey will just be looking for a repeat of her first if she can. Try and follow a similar line, play with the same weight. This is a very good effort. Another good bowl. She's going to touch it, takes it back to her bowl. So great bowling from the Wellingtonian. She holds a couple. Now asking Mandy Boyd to reply, and she knows how important this is at this stage of this final. She's going to come and have a look, see what the situation is. Won't probably be able to see the jack cleanly.
Well, there's another bowl down the back of the by the where it's got first to 21. That first bowl of Nicole Toomey's went by. I'm not sure how far and behind that is, and I'm sure Mandy Boyd's looking at coming down on that backhand to try and get the split to the bowls. So Mandy Boyd definitely 2 down.
Right at the bottom of the rank is the other bowl of Nicole Toomey's.
So Boyd going for the forehand, so obviously not trying to play that split shot that we were talking about, trying to get down to the counting bowls, but it's going to be under the centre line.
They're not going to have the weight either.
No, it's not. It's a good 1.5 metres short now. Can Nicole Toomey now draw another one here?
Just another bowl, exactly the same, isn't it?
Exactly the same bowl on that back. I certainly wouldn't have been changing your hand and giving us.
You can see,
you can see that
first bowl
now.
of Nicole Toomey just in play. So if there is movement of the jack any further, then that bowl certainly comes into play.
So playing that backhand again, so can't give Mandy Boyd a shoulder on that forehand side. And this too looks on a good line, this bowl as well.
Very good bowl from Nicole Toomey as
That's
this one breaks to the head. That is a third.
Now we might see Mandy Boyd in fact change. No, again playing that forehand, so short with the third bowl, must get down to this counting area. His second shot, I'm sure should be handy, be quite content.
She's got to make sure she reaches this time, and she's not going to. Under the line. What an end this is for Nicole Toomey. She'll be collecting 3, and we are all going to be tied up at 18 apiece. 3 confirmed by Jill Fraser on marker. And well, this game is getting better and better. 18 all now in this women's singles final to decide the first champion of these Summerset Nationals at Carlton, Cornwall and Auckland.
And Nicole Toomey just got that nice little touch on the jack, just moved her away off the centre line and just made it that much more difficult to get at it. Put Mandy Boyd off her backhand shot, which she's been favouring throughout the game, and back came Nicole Toomey with the last bowl and drew another counter. And another good opening bowl here from the Wellington player. There's the board, 18 all in this race to 21. It's certainly gone backwards and forwards, Brendan, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's been a number of lead changes, hasn't there? Mandy Boyd out to that early 4-0 advantage. Nicole Toomey quickly chased that down.
Looking for the jack straight away is Mandy Boyd got rid of the bowl.
Yeah, got rid of the shot bowl. First bowl from Nicole Toomey, but not getting the jack.
So certainly trying to get the jack directly back into the ditch. Now under the line is Nicole Toomey. Pressure's come off now, Mandy Boyd. Now Mandy Boyd's got to think, right, I've got 2 metres now to draw the shot in. So here is now Mandy Boyd, score locked up, 18 all. Got a good couple of metres to draw the shot in. Is
She
not
might
going
run into
to
it, you know. Yeah, making that adjustment from the drive to the draw or vice versa is always difficult. And she wasn't able to get the right touch there. Now, Nicole Toomey's going to try and recapture what she did with her first bowl.
Absolutely. The door's been left open for her. Mandy Boyd, head down, thinking, all right. And Nicole Toomey is going to respond with a pretty good bowl here.
Great bowl.
Look at this, right on the centre line, right behind the jack.
Yeah, now that removes the getting rid of the jack or moving it into the ditch. Could potentially kill if she does get clean on the jack, but it won't be going to the ditch.
Well, Mandy Boyd's got to make sure that she gets second shot. And will do.
Yeah, that'll be enough for second.
Still plenty of room though for, and she's walking back very confidently as Nicole Toomey.
Oh, why wouldn't you? Why
back
wouldn't
to the
you?
mat.
The way she's played, picked up 4 shots the last couple of ends, and it's got right back into it. I was mentioning how the game really turned on its head because Nicole Toomey was leading 12-7, and then it was 18-14 to Mandy Boyd. So what's that? 11-2. Mandy Boyd.
She's been a real scoring spree, didn't she?
Yeah, now Nicole Toomey 4-0 last couple of ends, and we're all tied up.
Well, it's certainly delivered out on that arc side to get back to the centre line.
Too much ask this time.
Not going to.
Might be enough though, you know. That could be second.
Could be, because it's no indication from the marker. So 18 all, and definitely Nicole Toomey definitely holding 1. Perhaps 2. On the backhand is Mandy Boyd. And this 2 is going to be on that very narrow and short line. So we'll see what they say.
It's not going to change the situation. So certainly 1. Now, is that last Toomey bowl second? Well, Toomey wants to do a measure.
Absolutely.
And why wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
You get a chance to go within a shot of the title. It looks like it's going to be that Boyd bowl comfortably. So just 1 for Nicole Toomey. But she's 1 step closer. This enthralling contest, women's singles final at the Summerset Nationals at Carlton, Cornwall. Nicole Toomey, the Victoria Club in Wellington, leading Mandy Boyd of Elmwood Park in Christchurch, 19-18.
So 18 at the end of 17. It was Mandy Boyd leading 18 to 14. Then a 1, a 3 and a 1. And here we go. So Jack's been delivered. And here is Nicole Toomey on her backhand.
And just a reminder, as you see on the screen, it is first to 21. So Nicole Toomey's only 2 away. Mandy Boyd's only 3 away. It could be decided on this end either way.
So just going by to the centre line, going back past by a metre and a bit. Mandy Boyd will persevere, no doubt, on that backhand, which both players really have been playing a big percentage of their bowls on the backhand. Just question how that line is towards the jack. It's going to pull up short slightly. That'll be the shot.
And Nicole Toomey just needs to make the adjustment with the weight from her first. Just pull it back a couple of metres.
So got the bowl now on that better, wider arc towards the centre line. Here it comes. It'll drop right in just about on that centre line. That's certainly the shot.
Another good bowl from Nicole Toomey. Getting into these deciding stages of this women's singles final.
It's interesting. I've just had a message come through to me from a former New Zealand player who was just mentioned to me about Nicole Toomey. A lot of her bowls have been going narrow because she's not staying down on the line, pushing the bowl out, staying on the line, coming up, arm comes up, and away you go. Good reply here, asking who's got the shot. Is Nicole Toomey asking Jill Fraser.
Must be close. She's taking a long look at this, the marker.
Not sure. Measure.
Yeah, measure for shot.
Which, if in doubt, measure.
I took a long look at that though, Jill Fraser, more than most markers would.
Certainly did.
Most markers would have straight away said measure.
Yep.
So took a long look at it, see if she could pick a winner after 2 bowls each. Nicole Toomey will look to try and grab this outright. This looks handy.
On that great centre, on that line to the centre line.
Just going to move it enough, outside. I don't think, to change the situation.
So Mandy Boyd want to make sure that she's going outside the centre line and coming back, not the other way around. It's going to duck away from the head. Looks to be on a pretty good line. How's the weight?
It doesn't look like there's enough of it.
No.
And it looks like it's coming to a conclusion in the men's peers game in front of us, I believe. And it looks like the Hills, unfortunately, this fairy tale run is over. So the 11-year-old Liam Hill and his granddad Neville have been beaten by Pat Houlihan in the round of 32. But what a great story it's been. And I'm sure that young man has a very bright future in this game.
Walks off smiling.
Oh, I don't think we've seen the smile gone from his face the whole time. Has loved this experience, and I think granddad Neville, old Bones, would probably be thinking the same thing.
Very proud, I would say. Well, I know he would be. It's great to see, isn't it? You know, the granddad and grandson playing together.
Oh, it's fantastic. What sports can you do that?
Well, did you see Tiger Woods in the sun
Yeah.
the other week?
Well, exactly right.
It was,
there's one, but very few sports can you do that at this level.
There was a lot of identical attributes
It's
that they showed.
It's quite scary, wasn't it, how similar they were?
So here now is Nicole Toomey.
Bit of a gust of wind coming through the club there. So just starting to gather herself.
Leading 1918 in a measure for shot. Certainly on a narrower line.
Yeah.
But is it going to get the jack? Is it going to get the jack?
And
is it going to get the
look
jack?
at that
Have a look at
bowl.
that.
What a bowl from Nicole Toomey. And now she holds game.
What a bowl that was.
Huge bowl from, must say, the underdog in this contest, Nicole Toomey. Wasn't long ago she was down 18-14.
That wasn't luck. She played that.
Brilliantly played.
Played that line, had that controlled weight to come in under the head to get to the jack. And that's a very, very, well, it's a mature bowl played by this young lady and now holds the win. Remembering, of course, runner-up to Mandy and Angela Boyd in the pairs with Caitlin Inch a few years ago at North Harbour. Mandy Boyd has won, as we said, 5 fours, 2 pairs, never the singles. It's difficult. To me, the best option is to follow the Nicole Toomey bowl, and really you're playing for second shot, Brendan. Because I just can't see a way. You can't drive because of the front bowls, and it's just the centre line's literally closed off to get to the jack. And you can see there, don't see this very often. Mandy Boyd is sort of not saying, well, she's uncertain.
She's taking her time, and rightly so, because this has the match riding on it. The national women's singles title right here. It's held by Toomey. Can Boyd deny her?
Playing that backhand that we spoke about, Brendan.
Looks on a relatively similar line. Has it got the weight? That's the question. Has it got the weight to reach? It's not far away, but I don't think it's quite going to be enough. It falls out, and that's shake hands time. Nicole Toomey is a national champion. Congratulations to the player out of the Victoria Club, 21-18. Nicole Toomey has taken it against the 7-time national champion, Mandy Boyd, in a topsy-turvy women's singles final. It's fair to say, Kevin Hicklin, it was Mandy Boyd out to an early lead. Nicole Toomey fought her way back. Then Boyd took control. She went 18-14 up. But there, Toomey reached another level, came up with some crunch bowls, and has won it in quite brilliant fashion, 21-18. I'll leave it to you as I make my way out into the green to talk to the champion player.
Well, the Victoria Bowling Club in Wellington continues that run of national titles where we've just seen 4 magnificent ends from Nicole Toomey, a 1, a 3, a 1 and a 2, and playing that magnificent bowl, even though she was holding the shot on that, the last end, played down on that backhand side, narrowed the line up slightly, got to the jack under the line, and pulled the jack back towards the 2 metre mark, and really put a really difficult shot on for Mandy Boyd. So not to be for Mandy Boyd of the Elmwood Park Club in Christchurch, to be her 8th New Zealand title, the first New Zealand title for Nicole Toomey, and a very, very worthy winner of the Summerset women's singles here at Carlton, Cornwall. And we're very shortly going to go across to Brenton van Nistelrooy, who will have Nicole. I just see Brenton running in front of me there, getting the microphone. So he will have Nicole Toomey with him in but a moment. And of course tomorrow we've got the, we'll be again live all day here tomorrow with the quarterfinals onwards of the men's pairs. That play is underway in front of us now. And then we've got, of course, the women's singles. So the next day, of course, we'll be back again with live bowls again. So tomorrow we have got the men, where we'll be following the men's pairs right through to the final, and then we've got the day off on the 6th, and then the 7th, of course, we are going over to North Harbour to do the para and blind bowls over there, and then of course we're back here on the 8th at the final, where we'll wind up with the men's singles and women's pairs. So amazing effort here by young Nicole Toomey, who was a star this year as well in the Stokes Valley Vipers and in the Bowls 3-5, playing with Seamus Curtin and Finbar McGuigan, running out the winners, of course, in the Bowls 3-5 event, and continued that magnificent performance today. And Brenton's out on the green now, and I hope we've shortly got Nicole Toomey coming this way. Just stay with us but a moment, or we go into the presentation, I'm not sure. But we hope that you've enjoyed this coverage we've brought today right throughout on Sky Sport Next, where we've brought you one of those women's quarterfinals. And here is the New Zealand champion. I turn you now to Brenton van Nistelrooy, and he's got with him firstly Mandy Boyd, and I'll pass it over to Brenton van Nistelrooy.
Quite sensational bowls to beat.
Yeah, she sure did. She played well, and it was a bomb with her last bowl, and it made it really tricky to get out of, because usually I'd always sort of try and play with weight if I know I'm game down. That's my go-to, but I could only see like a really tiny piece of the jack, and so I didn't want to put it all on getting a wee edge, so tried to draw my way out, but just a wee bit short.
And you must have thought that draw wasn't far away from cutting it down to one and sending it to another end.
Yeah, well, that was the idea. Even if I sat on her back one or just managed to trickle in, but just a wee bit short, 10 centimetres or so. So that's what this game is, though, isn't it?
You must be very happy with the way you have played over the last couple of days, especially in post-section play.
Yeah, well, I don't really think of myself as much of a singles player, so I was actually quite surprised, and I was just like, oh, this is good, I'll just keep riding with it until it's all come crashing down now, but that's all right, yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, so runner-up in the singles, that's still the one national title to elude you. What keeps you hungry, though, to keep going back year after year?
Yeah, well, always love coming for the team events, especially, and another chance to play with Ange in the pairs tomorrow, so it's a good lead up for that. And yeah, the singles is always good to get some good competition in that, so I've certainly had that with Nicole, so yeah, she did well.
Well, we look forward to seeing you in the pairs tomorrow with Sister Angela. All the best for that.
Thank you. Cheers.
Mandy Boyd will now try and bring in the successful player, the champion, Nicole Toomey. Congratulations, Nicole.
Thank you.
On that. Well, how, firstly, are the nerves? Because you had to come back. What a final that was.
The nerves were there the whole game, even before the game, but you just have to keep on top of it and keep drawing the shots and slowly get there.
How did you keep those intact, though, against a player like Mandy, who at one stage looked to have it rolling? She came back from quite a way back to, I think she might have scored 11-2, went on a bit of a run. How did you keep yourself together?
Just remembering how I've been playing and having that determination and motivation to keep going and keep plodding along, and it's first to 21, so you've got a whole game to keep going and keep finding those shots. So yeah.
What does it mean to you to now be a national champion here at Carlton Cornwall?
It's pretty amazing. Like, it's been a goal of mine for a long time, so it's nice to finally get one in the books. First big national title, so hopefully onwards and upwards, and a great start to 2021.
And for the Victoria Club, another national title. They continue.
Another national title. I think that's maybe 8 or 9 years in a row that we've managed to get a national title. So they're pretty stoked and already in there celebrating. So yeah, it's quite an achievement, and there'll be lots more celebrating when we're back home later.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously bowls 3-5 with the Stakes Valley Vipers last month. Now a national title. What more is to come from Nicole Toomey?
Well, don't know really. Just keep winning. Hopefully go well in the pairs tomorrow with my friend Tanith. So got that to look forward to, and yeah, just keep plodding along.
Well, enjoy the celebrations tonight. They're well deserved, and we look forward to seeing you in the pairs.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Nicole Toomey, our champion of the women's singles here at Carlton Cornwall, as that wraps up our action from the first day of finals. We look forward to more of your company tomorrow as we bring you post-section play, quarterfinals, semi-finals and finals of the men's pairs.